what Iman Shumpert is out here saying. You know what I mean? Like, we could run that clip. We could run that clip real quick. KB, I'm sure you've heard it already. So, but let me run it over here for the guys.
Either way, it ruined basketball.
No, he didn't. It wasn't KD. It was Bron first going to Miami. Bron knows he ruined basketball.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that was... I always look at the
Bron
first...
ruined basketball.
So y'all seen that? It was a quick little clip. Just to give y'all context, they were kind of talking about... This was on the Bootleg Kev podcast. I don't know who that guy is, but he looks like a thumb. But... he's interviewing Man Shumpert. I mean, bro, look at the guy, bro. Like, damn, my guy got no hair follicles on his body. Like, I don't even know if he had eyebrows. But
oh my god.
But they were talking about when KD went to Golden State and how, like, you know, he was trying the podcast host was trying to kind of make it like, oh, KD ruined basketball, and Shump was like, nah, LeBron ruined basketball, and he knows that he ruined basketball, like, you know. So, KB. This kind of relates to what we were just talking about earlier. If he gets traded, people are going to say these things. I feel like we've talked about this before, like, but I'm going to let you say your piece on this. Like, do you agree with Shumpert? Do you understand why he said it? Are you upset at him for saying it? Like, how do you feel about this?
The only reason why I believe Shump said that is just like it's a way to trigger LeBron to talk shit. You know what I mean? In order for him to actually turn out, because Shump and LeBron are cool like that. But for Shump to say LeBron ruined basketball, and for him to agree to go play with LeBron and then get a championship, bro, like that's kind of odd. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me that doesn't make sense. Like, why would he say he ruined basketball?
Yeah.
You know
So.
I mean?
Like, what he went on to say, like, after that, because I watched, like, a bigger part of the segment, but, like, you know, it's Shump, so he gets sidetracked everywhere, so it's like, I didn't want to play the full clip, because eventually...
Yeah, because he had that motherfucker is buzzled on that show, bro.
But, yeah, but he was basically... I love Shump, man. I love Shump. He's like... I love Shump. But he was like... Yeah, like, back when I missed the old way basketball was, like, as a fan, because, like, back then, like, you know, like, the players just, like, respected the jersey, and, like, they stayed where they were at, and, like, they made it work. And he kind of explained how, like, sometimes, like, you know, two stars on the same team, they need, like, 3 years to get it working, you know, like, you know, a small needs to learn how to play with a big, etc., etc. And, like, now we live in an era where if it doesn't work right away, a star's just zooming off to somewhere else, and it's kind of like a arms race of whatever team can just, like, instantly build up, like, the best collection of, like, stars. And, like, as a fan, it's kind of annoying because, you know, if your team has a star, you're not guaranteed to keep them or to even have a good team, like, whereas in the past you kind of could have that guy for a while. So he just said he enjoyed the older style of basketball more, and he says, like, LeBron kind of started
My question to this is, who was the last star to stay in a team forever?
I mean, like, last star. I mean, there are some now. Like, Dame's been with his team for a hot minute.
Is Dame ever gonna get a championship?
Steph, Clay, Draymond.
Yeah, Steph, Clay, Draymond. I mean, they got drafted by that team. Giannis got drafted by the team.
But that's what we're talking about. Like, guys who got drafted by the teams and stayed. That's what we're talking about, right? Like, stars who got drafted and stayed around. Like, who else? Like, there's not that much in the league right now. Like, obviously, if you go back to, like, older days, like, you know, Jordan, Bird, Magic, like, you know, all those guys kind of stayed around for forever and ever. But yeah, like, I mean, but, like, you get what he's saying. Like, it's a different thing now. Like we're all talking about, like, oh, trade Dame because he's never gonna win a chip. Whereas, like, before, yeah, who knows? They might have drafted a star through the system. That star might have been guaranteed to stay. Yada yada. Like,
I mean, at the same time, I feel like whatever's that cost now matters so much more than what was that cost back then. It's like no one's in 10, 20 years from now, no one's gonna remember Dame for being loyal to his Portland Trailblazers. But like, if he was to,
yeah, so that's basically what Shump was saying. He was saying kind of like you gotta, like, you're in a race to get those chips, to rack up those chips, right? So, like, yeah, it makes sense what you're saying and what he was saying. And I also get his point of view too. Like, I as a fan, man, like. You know, let's talk about, like, you know, the Leafs for a second. If, like, Austin Matthews and, like, all those guys were to leave, like, the guys that we drafted, our stars, were just to, like, dip because they feel like they couldn't win a chip here, I'd be like, damn, we're losing one of our most talented teams ever just because, you know, they feel like they can't win a chip here and they want to go win it somewhere else. You know, it's tough to swallow. So, yeah. So, I get what he's saying. I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, of course. To me, it's just funny because, like, I know he's saying that for literally just for a trigger purpose. Like, I know he doesn't really, like, it's hard for me to believe that he thinks that LeBron ruined basketball when we had teams prior to that lost with 3 superstars on their teams. You know what I mean? It's like you could build a super team. You could have 3 superstars on your team and still lose a playoff series or in the finals. So for me to believe that he actually believes that LeBron ruined basketball is hard. It's like, I know you're talking shit to the.
I mean, to me, the first real super team was the freaking Celtics. You know what I mean? Because they did it before Bron did it. You know, if I'm thinking of like stars collecting on at one place, or even you could go to like the Rockets when they had Barkley and Pippen and Olajuwon, I think. Too, you can even go that far back too, right? Because those guys weren't all drafted there. So
yeah, how about Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and all these motherfuckers on the Lakers?
On the Lakers, yeah, that too.
Even though they were old, you know what I mean?
But so they didn't do nothing. That's why people didn't talk about them. Like the reason why I say the Celtics, because Celtics they were actually like all still pretty much prime when they got together.
Yeah, they won a championship. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, but exactly. So it's like right now with LeBron being that guy, LeBron being that big of a name in the basketball, in the history of basketball, that's why everything's gonna be blamed onto him. But I love it. Like, you know what I mean?
LeBron's big news, man. LeBron's big news. Look, we're talking about Sean talking about LeBron. We're talking about the Lakers and what it has to do with LeBron. Like, let's be honest, the Lakers being shit, like, yeah, the Lakers being shit would get talked about because it's the Lakers. But the reason why we're talking about it so much is because, you know, in some people's eyes, LeBron might need another chip or something to like be considered the ultimate GOAT. And right now, like that team is effing up his chances. That's why people are like. That's why this is news because he's still got it. He's still got it to go win another chip. He can do it. Like it's just he needs the team and the cast to do it.
But that isn't that messed up. Like he's in year 19 and he's still got it. That does not make sense to me. That right there is not normal. For him to drop 40,
it's impressive, man. It's impressive. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's
just it doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. For him to be more durable than some of these players on his own team at year 19, I don't care. Don't talk to me about no $1 million spent on his body on a yearly basis, this, that, whatever. At this point, I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked. Year 19, you're dropping points like this as if it was still the first year in the season. How is he in year 19 and everyone's still worried about what he's gonna do in the playoffs or what his next game is gonna look like? I don't know, man. I don't know. If he passes, what's his name? Kareem? Is it Kareem?
Yeah, Kareem.
For most points, at that point, like I don't know how that's gonna go down, fam. But I don't know. LeBron needs to request a trade. Go play with KD. That'll be easy basketball. Easy basketball.